The Vietnam War, a horrible scar on the face of United States history, plagued by secrecy and uncertainty that only heightened distrust in the government by the American people. While the conflict began in 1955, the public wasn't made aware of the fighting until 1964, when the pot truly began to boil over. The Democratic Republic of Vietnam, led by Ho Chi Minh, was the northern communist nation created following the Geneva Accords and the split of the country. And in August of 1964, North Vietnamese patrol boats launched an assault on the USS Maddox in the Gulf of Tonkin off of the Vietnamese coast. They fired torpedoes at the destroyer in an unprovoked attack, leading President Johnson and our troops due authority for military engagement against the DRV. On the other side of the globe was a different story. Students at the University of North Texas were preparing for the fall semester. With rumors of conflict stirring in the East, tensions ran high. Many across the nation were left fearful considering the ongoing Red Scare and recent Cuban Missile Crisis, but students in North Texas had faith in our nation and a desire to beat the communists. A young woman named Mary Rim found reassurance in the president following his decision to engage with Vietnam, and another student, Van Smith, saw the political angle of Johnson's decision, believing that retaliating against Vietnam allows Johnson to remove the foreign policy issue from the upcoming election. Johnson would go on to win the 1964 election, and the war continues with the likes of Operation Rolling Thunder. Several years pass, and on November 1st of 1967, a year before Operation Rolling Thunder would even see its end, North Texas began having teach-ins for issues like civil rights and understanding the conflict overseas. Dr. Stanley Thames presented the second teach-in at North Texas, highlighting the struggles facing the United States with the continued conflict against the communists and Vietnam. Operation Rolling Thunder would end in November of 1968, right before the election of Richard Nixon, whose decision-making would lead to outrage across the nation, not just in North Texas. But around Denton, news spread of Nixon's invasion of Cambodia. The staff of the North Texas Daily had some words for President Nixon in light of his decision to attack. Those who often reflect the views of students claim that no end to the war was in sight, that Nixon strove for power over peace, and that everyone was tired. Tired of the body bags, tired of not being heard. Several days later followed a protest caused by the recent Kent University shooting, in which the Ohio National Guard killed 4 students and injured 9 more during an unrest on campus. The students of UNT marched the Union and the National Guard Armory in objection of this violence. The march itself was backed by the Student Senate and even the president of the college. Those who protested that day, they strived for peace. They strived for a dignified observance of the injustice taking place, hoping to not be associated with the violence like other instances. And the protest was a success. Students showed en masse, donning black armbands and educating those around them. Even people who claimed they would never be seen at a protest found themselves paying respects to the 4 at Kent State. 1968 was the year that really shifted the opinion of Americans. It was the year with the highest death count and the election of Nixon, whose decision-making would ultimately lead to the continued division of the nation. As the public questioned the legitimacy of the war and the government's role in continuing it, North Texas remained an ample place for change and protest, and part of the public that challenged the choices of the government.